You ever notice how some stories just keep popping up online? It's like you see the same story, just with different names, same plot points, same epic ending. Well, today we are diving deep into the source material for one of the most powerful ones out there. It's this incredible, dramatic narrative that feels like a modern myth for the digital age, a story all about betrayal, spiritual warfare, and in the end, a total transformation. And this one line right here, it pretty much captures the entire heart of the saga. This isn't just a story about getting through something tough. It's about being forged into something completely new, something way more powerful because of all that pressure. This is really the central promise of what we're going to call the digital hero's journey. So, who's the hero in this epic tale? Well, the narrative always puts one person right at the center, and it refers to them as you. And according to all this source material, you're not just anybody. You are someone who is naturally talented, uniquely gifted, and protected by some higher power, even if you don't really know it at the beginning of the story. But here's the twist, the real paradox at the heart of the story. Your greatest strengths, they're also the thing that paints a giant target on your back. The narrative says that it's your natural shine, your talent, the way you just do things that seem so hard for everyone else. Those are the exact qualities that attract this dangerous, all-consuming obsession from your enemies. You know, they say a hero is only as good as their villains. And in this story, well, the hero is massively, almost comically, outnumbered. Let's take a look at the cast of characters all lined up against them. I mean, the sheer scale of this conspiracy is just staggering. It's not one bad guy, it's a whole coalition. The list has everyone from your own corrupt family members and people practicing dark magic, all the way up to powerful elites and celebrities, who, the sources say, are literally watching your life like it's a game, just for their own twisted entertainment. So why? Why go to all this trouble? According to the sources, it really just boils down to two things: pure, raw envy of what they call your shine, and this greedy, desperate desire to steal your money, your destiny, and what's often called your trust fund. Okay, so we've met the players. Now the conflict begins. And this isn't some simple fight. The sources describe a full-on, coordinated war that's being fought on multiple fronts at the same time, mixing these wild, supernatural attacks with very real, very grounded schemes. So the war is being fought in two totally different arenas. On the spiritual side, you've got these intense attacks. We're talking blood moon rituals, demons being sent your way, and even attacks on your spiritual energy center, your crown chakra. But then, on the worldly side, you've got this bureaucratic kind of evil, people lying in court, forging your signature, financial fraud, and this organized harassment that the sources called gang stalking. You know, one term that keeps popping up is mirror magic. Let's break that down. The basic idea is that the villains try to project this fake negative image onto the hero. They're hoping that this dark reflection will actually stick and become your reality. It's a really crucial tactic for them. So, during this whole onslaught, the hero is pushed to their absolute brink. But a central theme in this story is their resilience. You're described as a warrior in spirit, someone who just keeps fighting an unbelievable number of battles but absolutely refuses to break. You just keep standing. All right, now we get to the turning point in the story, and let's be honest, this is always the most satisfying part. This is the moment where the villain's super complicated, multi-front war starts to just spectacularly fall apart. And the whole thing unravels so fast, like a line of dominoes. Someone from inside the conspiracy starts snitching. One of the magic users gets caught on a Ring doorbell camera. Those forged signatures, they don't hold up in court. There's even this wild account of an astral projector who gets their spiritual cord broken and gets trapped. And that mirror magic, whoops, it boomerangs right back and hits the person who sent it. And here's the most important part. The villains are the architects of their own downfall. They just get arrogant, they get sloppy. As one source puts it, they get too crazy with it. They totally underestimate the hero and they overestimate themselves. And that leads directly to them getting exposed. So, the conspiracy's out in the open, and now the narrative delivers that sweet, sweet karmic justice. This part is all about the consequences for the bad guys and, of course, the rewards for our victorious hero. And their downfall is total. It hits them on every single level you can imagine. First, they face public shame. Their dirty laundry gets aired on national news. Then, they face actual criminal charges and jail time. And finally, they experience this deep, karmic pain that the sources say is worse than they ever caused you. And for the hero, the reward is just as complete. It's not just about getting peace. The sources are very clear about this. They consistently promise a major wealth transfer. This is all the stolen money, the inheritances, the opportunities. It all comes back to you, plus a whole lot more as a reward for everything you went through. But the story doesn't just end with getting justice and money. The final act, and you could argue it's the most important one, is all about the hero's interchange. You don't just win the game. You become something more. This is really the psychological core of the entire myth. The hero isn't just about light and love anymore. The sources say you are forced to face and integrate your shadow side, your ability to feel righteous anger, to set hard boundaries, to be a warrior. You didn't fall into darkness. You became whole. Wow, this quote just perfectly captures the hero's final form. You're no longer the victim who's looking for justice. You are the justice. You're a living, breathing consequence for everything they did. You've become the reckoning. And this change is permanent. This new version of you is described as being totally immune to guilt trips, immune to manipulation. You've moved past all their chaos, and you're now vibrating on a higher spiritual frequency that your old enemies just can't touch. They can't even reach you. You've basically outgrown the entire conflict. And so, the story leaves us with this one final, powerful question. It's a total reversal of power that signals the end of the journey, from being the target of a massive conspiracy to becoming the final judgment on it. What happens when you are no longer the victim, but the verdict? It's a timeless story, truly reimagined for our times.